So I'm here with Rose, and the reason why I'm interviewing Rose, and just to give you everybody the backstory of how I kind of know Rose, is really through social media and the internet. I follow Rose on social platforms, and she's a very, very entertaining person. Something about Rose that I'll just sort of start with before I introduce her is that, well, she's American. She lives in America. And I don't know if you know this, Rose, but...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Rose is down in California. And Rose, this will be funny for you because like my audience is mostly Canadian. So in Canada, Thanksgiving happens in October, and then American Thanksgiving happens in November. That's what we call it. We call it American Thanksgiving. So we just had American Thanksgiving, and a lot of my American friends are posting about their feasts and their family get-togethers on Facebook, and it was awesome to see. I mean, I love Thanksgiving, so I'll watch it twice if I have to. But the reason why I wanted to bring Rose on is because she's got this really interesting, I guess it's become a family tradition of sorts now, and it really relates back to some of the thinking and honestly the lectures I've been giving all my clients and friends and anybody who will listen about these holiday feasts. Okay, so Rose, why don't you start and explain to us what is Bulksgiving?
The basic premise of Bulksgiving is who can gain the most weight over the course of Thanksgiving Day. There is a total weight winner, and then there's a percentage weight winner. So the tiny people who can really pack it away are still in the running. And so, I have a bunch of brothers, and they all play, and a number of their wives play, and I guilt my mom into playing. And everybody weighs themselves when they show up at the house where it's hosted, and then we just spend all day eating everything we want to eat, and then people can tap out whenever they want, and then they weigh themselves in, and we see how much weight you gain. So this year, for example, my brother Sky is consistently on board with me, mostly because he drinks a lot of beer for the holidays, and so that the volume water weight from that packs on the pounds.
Yeah.
So this year he gained 9 pounds, but I gained 7.5 pounds. So I bumped him out percentage wise.
In one day. In one day.
In one day. And I didn't wake up there. I didn't go over until around noon. So I weighed in at noon, and then I weighed in at the end of the day, and the scale stayed in the same place all day, 7.5 pound difference.
Amazing.
I think people have this legitimate fear that the physical weight on the scale that they put on in a single day is forever weight. You are now 7.5 pounds fatter. Almost all of that weight is going to be gone the next day, and what remains is sodium bloat because of turkey and ham and there's just salt in everything.
Yes.
But there's so much. There's so many articles leading up to Thanksgiving, and people post on Facebook oh, I'm making green beans with reduced fat butter spread, and I'm going to stick to all the vegetables and only have turkey breasts without the skin. And it's they're applying all the restrictive rules of their everyday life to a food-based holiday, which is so sad. Especially considering it's one meal, or if you're really gluttonous, it is one day of eating, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And nobody gets fat in a day.
No.
You'd be hard pressed to gain an actual pound, a single pound of permanent weight in fat stores on your body in a day. It's very, very unlikely that anybody's body would be able to process that and turn it into actual weight instead of just letting it go.
Yeah.
So people lead up to the holiday with all of these oh, I want to make these healthy decisions, and they put all of this stress and pressure on the day in terms of how they think they're going to behave. But they also remove this joy from the day because they're trying to control what they're eating and control themselves from not eating bad things instead of just enjoying the day.
Exactly. So that's exactly why we're doing this, because like I sort of started off by saying, is right around this time of year, my clients who I'm consulting are saying, they're saying a couple things to me. They're saying, what about when I go for Christmas dinner? Because we've done the Thanksgivings, Canadian Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving. The next up is the universal feasting day of Christmas. And people are saying to me a lot of things. They're saying, how am I supposed to do this? I'm going to my mother-in-law's house and she always force feeds me mashed potatoes. And if I don't accept them, then I'm rude and I'm a rude bitch and she won't like me. Or they're saying, I don't want to be that guy at the table who's obviously on a diet. And I say to both of those things, yeah, no, why would you? It's the holidays. What are the holidays about? They're about family, cheer, joy, indulgence, happiness, laughter, all this stuff. It's not about weighing and measuring things on your plate, caring about love handles. And to your point, it is biologically impossible to gain a pound in one day. But the 7.5 pounds that you put on that day, that wasn't like exactly what you said. That's not there forever. That is water weight gain, probably a lot of the byproducts of digestion of carbohydrate, plus the sodium that you're mentioning, plus the boozing.
Yeah.
It's mostly water. But what I really loved about what you said was, and we talked about this sort of behind the scenes, was it completely satisfied / obliterated your cravings. Like you were like, I'm done with Thanksgiving food.
Yes. So yeah, the next morning, because leading up to Thanksgiving, I had all of these plans for like all the wonderful things I was going to eat and all the things I wanted to eat and all the delicious things I was going to do with leftovers. And so the day after Thanksgiving, I woke up a little bloated, but like I was full of energy. I actually woke up earlier than normal and just felt fully awake. I assume part of that was like a carbohydrate refeed. I tend a lot because of laziness to not eat processed carbs very regularly. So having a day where I was consistently doing that, like fully, I know that there's some sort of something stores in your body and you can refill it. I don't.
Glycogen.
Glycogen. For that. But yeah, I felt great the next day. I also didn't want to eat anything. Like I was fine. I wasn't thinking about, like I woke up Thanksgiving morning thinking about all of the delicious things I was going to eat. I woke up the day after Thanksgiving not really thinking about food.
Yeah.
To be able to not think about, oh, I can't have this, or I can only have a tiny sliver of this with a little bit of cranberry sauce on it, and I should skip the gravy, and maybe if I fill up on salad.
Mm-hmm. It's this whole moment in time thing where Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner is a moment in time. We've already established it's not going to do any long-term damage to your body weight, your body composition. The problem with holiday feasting is when it becomes 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 2 weeks, then it's a whole month, and then you're like, holy smokes, okay, I've been off the rails for 6 weeks, 2 months. If you were to completely just let go of any reservations and do what you did, or some reasonable facsimile of what you did, because maybe Bulksgiving isn't for everybody, but to just say, I'm going to have everything that I want. Then you're not playing these mind games with yourself, so that the next day when that pecan pie or pumpkin pie or whatever kind of pie is sitting in the fridge and you're like, well, it was so good last night, I'm just going to have a sliver, and then I'm just going to have 8 turtles for breakfast, and then I'm going to, and these things are all great and they're amazing, and I love turtles. I eat turtles for breakfast at Christmas time too. But there's something to be said about acknowledging it for the moment in time that it is, and then moving past it.
I hear a lot of people who, if they have intentions to restrict themselves, not just for holidays, but in general, and if they mess up, then they kind of let go. They get one flat tire and then they slash the other 3 because, well, the day is already shot. Like I had I had a slice of pie for breakfast, so I may as well eat whatever I want.
It's true.
Whereas, so I had zero restrictions. I mean, normally I try to eat at my maintenance calories because I worked hard to get where I'm at, and I like where I'm at, so I want to stay where I'm at. But Thanksgiving, I didn't track anything. I ate whatever I felt like eating. But that also meant that if I wasn't enjoying something a lot, then I didn't keep eating it because there was no like, I'm gonna eat this anyway because I only get this. So like there were certain dishes that just weren't doing it for me after a bite or two. So I had other things that I could go eat that were delicious. Why would I keep eating this? Why would I waste any room on this?
Like two whole bowls? Was it 2 bowls of cranberry sauce you had?
Oh, that was delicious. My mom and my brother's mother-in-law both brought cranberry sauce that were totally different from each other. It was so good.
Yeah.
So I went and had more cranberry sauce because that's what I really wanted. And and the mashed potatoes, like everybody worried, and they weren't as good as other things. So I had some mashed potatoes, but I didn't eat everything on my plate because it was there. I could have whatever I wanted, so I didn't need to eat stuff just because. I could eat stuff because it was delicious.
Okay. So this is okay. So I just want to talk about you again for a second, Rose, because like when I go on and on and on and on, like and on about this effortless relationship with food, this is precisely what I'm talking about. I don't want anybody to go on a diet. I don't want anybody to feel like they're restricting. If you're on one of my programs and you feel like, oh, I'm really hungry, I feel like I'm really deprived, then something went wrong. I want people to have this effortless relationship with food. Now, Rose, you in the last several years, you've made fitness, wellness, and health really a priority of yours. You're obviously a very healthy person, physically fit. You're a person who I would describe it. I was using this term when we were emailing it before this interview. The idea of metabolic flexibility, which I shouldn't necessarily call it that, because what metabolic flexibility is by definition is somebody who's insulin sensitive enough that they can tap into any fuel source that comes at them. What that means in layman's terms is the body and the cells and the hormones that fuel the cells are like, we got this. No matter what you feed me, if it's 2 bowls of cranberry sauce or mashed potatoes or half a turkey and ham, I can deal with this. People who are insulin resistant can't do that. Everything goes into storage, which is fat. Their energy levels are completely unmanageable. You know, they're the ones who are like passed out on the floor after a carb binge. So you are a metabolically flexible person, but not only are you metabolically flexible by definition, but you're metabolically just chill. I'm going to coin a term, metabolically chill. You're like, it's fine. I'm going to eat this. It's going to suck for a while. I'm going to be uncomfortable. My pants will be too tight for a day, maybe 2, maybe 3. But who cares? Eventually you pee that out and life goes on.
So I weighed myself at my gym before Thanksgiving. And then yesterday I went back to the gym and weighed myself again. So it's a period of 6 days that's in Thanksgiving. And a surprise birthday celebration that my friends threw for me yesterday, which involved me eating a slice of cake made out of frosting. So just to give you a general idea of it wasn't just Thanksgiving, my weight went by 1 pound. I basically maintained my weight over Thanksgiving and a birthday celebration, because that's how the body works. I had an amazing Thanksgiving where I got to focus on my family and the delicious food that they made without worrying about anything. And I came out of it on the other end basically the same way.
Here we are. We are now December, so we are roughly 3 weeks from the feast. The next round of feasting, right? So this is for the benefit of people out there who, unlike yourself, Rose, are not at the moment metabolically chill. 3 weeks is just enough time to become that. In my experience, we can move the needle on insulin resistance, insulin sensitivity in about 3 weeks, so that when Christmas rolls around, It's not a big deal. I don't want anybody that I know or love or care about or who pays me to be their nutrition coach to be white knuckling it through Christmas, through cravings, so not be having these hilarious, awesome family experiences. Life's too short. And I actually love that your birthday fell in there, because anybody who's ever talked to me about the topic of like one-off indulgence, the analogy that I always use is birthday cake. If it's your birthday, you better have a piece of cake. If it's your niece's birthday or the coworker you barely tolerate or your cat, have a piece of cake. I mean, like, your cake was all frosting, which I think that's next level. I mean, 100% the best part. That is the best part of the cake. So, but I love that you did that. And again, you are a metabolically chill person. So are you worried about the long-term results of your of Bulksgiving and your birthday?
I honestly don't think I could eat like that on a regular basis, because doing it one day I felt good but kind of bloated the next day. I've been unhealthy at points in my life where I just ate whatever I wanted. It doesn't feel good to do that regularly. So I just don't think it's sustainable to eat like that, which means that it's, again, like, realistic to survive the holidays once you get your body to a point where you prefer not feeling like that regularly.
Yeah.
Why does anybody work out, eat better, try to become healthy or stay healthy? It's all about some form of happiness, whether it's the joy of the actual working out, or the joy of the results from working out. Like, we're all about trying to be happier with who we are in regards to health and fitness. And in the same vein, we should be looking at celebrations that involve food in the same way. Like, if we're eating healthier to be happy, or eating fewer calories right now to be happy, then why are we valuing that happiness over a slice of your birthday cake, or your grandma's pumpkin pie, or your mom's, like, apricot rolls on Christmas morning? They're all different levels of happiness that you should be finding balance between.
That's right.
And finding happiness in the Christmas food traditions that your family has is not significantly less important than finding happiness with more physically fit body, or whatever your goals are in that regard.
That's awesome. I love that insight. That is such a good insight, because I literally will not use the word health in my practice without tacking the word happiness onto it. And you're completely right. It's like, I'm going to be miserably unhappy at Christmas dinner, surrounded by the joy of my family and loved ones, while I white knuckle it through a minuscule morsel of dry turkey breast meat. Happiness.
Would you do that to yourself and your family?
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of like taking some happiness away from them too. If you're like, no, thank you, I am going to have this small amount here and pretend like I'm not hungry.
Exactly. Like, nobody wants that guy at their Christmas dinner table, honestly. I mean, it's all well and good for you and I to sit here. We're metabolically chill people. And we're going to say, oh, just go to town on Christmas Day. And I want people to do that. I do. I want people to just enjoy whatever they want to enjoy. I was saying this in our email chat before we kind of started this stuff. It was like, I want to create like this culture of metabolically chill people who can just show up in life and eat gravy or entire watermelons or frosting birthday cake or whatever. Oh, your kitty. Hi, kitty. I don't know. I want everybody to just have a bit of awareness, have a bit of fun, have a bit of happiness around food, and not make it such a big deal. Especially, we're getting into the final round of feasting season. We can do this. This is okay. It's a moment in time.
And everyone has Christmas food traditions. They're everybody's family. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who doesn't have a specific food association with Christmas. For us, Christmas dinner isn't a big thing, but Christmas breakfast, my mom makes these apricot rolls, and that's part of what Christmas is to me.
Yeah.
Is those things. Like, I grew up having apricot rolls on Christmas morning, And it would be really frustrating and strange to me if I were to sit there and see the apricot rolls but not get to experience them. Like, it would take away part of what Christmas is to me.
Yeah.
And like, that's sad.
It is sad.
To think that people think they shouldn't be enjoying like the little food moments that go along with the holidays because whatever. And it's really frustrating that like women's magazines and fitness websites push this whole like 13 swaps to make this holiday season to make desserts more healthy and all this stuff that just leaves people like unsatisfied and frustrated with themselves. Yeah. That everyone else is making these swaps and they're doing great, and I think that kale in my brownies is terrible, so I'm a failure. Christmas is about, and Thanksgiving is about, gravy and dark meat turkey and honey baked ham and pie.
Oh gosh, this is like Pandora's box, because it's like everything in the media is like, what was it I just saw the other day? It was like, little black dress season, because it's Christmas party, so little black dress season, you gotta get your little black dress body ready. It's like, there's so much crap around all this stuff, and I feel for people, and all I want is for people to just chill. Effortless relationship with food, effortless relationship with your body. Just learn how your body works, learn how it metabolizes a big feast of food. It's a great learning experience. So do like you did. Weigh yourself in the morning, weigh yourself at night, have fun with it. Weigh yourself 6 days later. Oh, look, it's all gone. Oh, that was an interesting experiment. Like the experimentation that you went through is exactly why I had to interview you. It's like, this is so fun. And it also, it makes light of all the bull crap you just mentioned. You're like, who gives a shit? I'm not putting kale in my brownies. I'm going to eat half my mom's walnut pie and see what happens.
Yeah, because walnut pie happens twice a year. Like, I hate to say, like, the media is coming at you, but the media is coming at you from all angles of, like, how not to gain weight at Thanksgiving. And, like, here's the things you can eat over Thanksgiving that aren't the worst. And it's telling you, like, Thanksgiving is fattening, Thanksgiving is fattening. When it's one day of delicious food and the weight's all going to go away. It's not real weight. It is fictional weight. It's delicious fictional weight that goes away.
Exactly. It's a moment in time. It's a moment of discomfort. And more importantly, moments of actual joy with people that you love. And I just really hope, I guess, I mean, as far as like the moral of the story is, that is what the holidays are about. Please don't waste a moment of your precious holiday season stressing about anything else. Like, just have a good time. Go for it.
Don't let calories take up space in your brain on a day where you should be laughing with your nieces and nephews and playing board games and watching your brother get so drunk, hilarious. Like, if you're spending any of your thought process trying to calculate how much you've eaten or what the best thing is, like, that's brain power that could be going towards like connecting with the people you get to see a few times a year and enjoying yourself. Like, don't let that live rent free in your head on a holiday.
Preach. I really want to thank you, Rose, I want to thank you for creating Bulksgiving, because I just absolutely love it. I know that doesn't sound very nutritionist-y of me, but I love everything about it. I love the spirit of it. I actually love the biochemistry of it, because I think it's really interesting. Like, I mean, you won Bulksgiving, did you not? Like, you were the...
Yeah, so I won percentage, and one of my brothers gained 10 pounds, and so he won by sheer weight, and then spent the rest of the weekend complaining about how terrible he felt. Yeah. If you really push yourself, you will be uncomfortable, but if you had fun, then it was worth it.
If anybody takes anything away from this little chat, is that our relationship with food is already effed up. It certainly doesn't need to be that effed up when you're sitting around a table with the people that you love. So let her go, let her buck, It's a moment in time.
Just one day.
Yeah.
The weight won't stick around.
That's right. Thanks, Rose.